What counts as art and why does it matter? Well, the arts are often divided into about 5 disciplines: visual arts, music, drama and theater, the written word, and dance and movement. That includes a lot, doesn't it? Sketching and set design are both visual arts. And some debate whether certain sports, with their focus on physical movement and aesthetic elements, don't fall under the category of art as well. I bet you participate in some form of art on a regular basis, simply by entering words into your journal or cracking up a classmate with a silent gesture. You're diving into a moment of artistic expression. So what does art give you? 1, a strong sense of who you are. 2, the awareness that you are not alone. And 3, the inspiration to follow your life path. And in my view, it's the process of doing art, the act of making art and taking it in, that reaps the benefits, not so much the end result. Exploring your identity. So firstly, the expressive arts allow you to explore who you are. Do you have a favorite song right now? Maybe a recent addition to your most played playlist? Or a song that you're hoping is blasting when you tune into the radio? When I listen to a song that I adore, I tend to nod my head and say, yeah, that's exactly what I feel. And I know a little bit more about myself. What about when you express yourself artistically? You may flash mob, you might drum, you might dance. The sky's the limit when it comes to creativity. In performing the art, you feel something new. And with a refreshed perspective, your personal evolution becomes a bit clearer. For my undergraduate degree, I majored in sociology, which is a discipline that devotes a lot of time to thinking about collective and individual identities. And this is something that I found fascinating. Your identity is informed by your age, your culture, your class, your sexual orientation, and so much more. And while everybody is unique identity-wise, our identities wouldn't bloom without connections to others in a social world. I'm struck over and over again by how essential self-expression is in all its forms to forming our identity. The second major benefit I see of the arts is its innately connective nature. Even when appreciating a painting alone in a gallery, we're connecting to that artist. It's natural to get overwhelmed at times by life's strains and challenges, and resilience rests on reaching out, drawing on others, and knowing that nobody has to go it alone. But communicating complex and intangible ideas isn't straightforward. Art is made up of alternative languages that makes that easy. Throughout time, people ranging in standpoint from German poet Johann Wolfgang von Goethe to Angela Davis have spoken out about the importance of progressive art in moving forward as a society and in thriving together as social beings. One of art's greatest gifts is to link us to others around what would otherwise go unexpressed. Individually, we're one drop. Together, we're an ocean, said Ryosuke Satoru. Which drop are you? And what would you be without the others? The third main offering of the expressive arts is their provision of the energy, the renewal, the knowledge, and the focus needed to stay true to your life path. Whether you believe in fate, total randomness, free will, or some combination of these ways of thinking about life, everybody ultimately follows a singular journey. The expressive arts funnel our sense of play and our drive into not just contemplation, but action. I'm going to give you a brief glimpse into my younger years, at a point in time when the expressive arts flew into my world in a very pivotal way. I was blessed from a young age to be influenced by close family members who valued sport, the arts, including dance and music. And I was raised in a home with relatively limited funds. I was nonetheless able to access opportunities for self-expression. My mother in particular was good at arranging opportunities for me to attend camps and lessons. I had a violin teacher who had a sliding scale, so I had weekly lessons. And my aunt ran a ballet school, which is where I took my first dance class. My grandmother had a piano and she taught me music and accompanied me at violin performances. My childhood was not all rosy, and these were havens for me. By the time I reached high school, I found myself suffering from my daily reality at high school, which was characterized by violence, racism. The janitors could almost not keep up with the blood that was left on the floors at that school. And a curriculum that I found unengaging and that spoke really only to certain groups of people and about only certain people. My mother had gone to great lengths to help make the school system better by meeting with teachers and administrators, but when nothing changed, she arranged for a private lesson or a course in Caribbean literature. And this saw me through till my final year, hearing the voices and the rhythms and learning about these worlds of other artists who had gone through, in some ways, similar things, opened my world and unleashed a lot of passion and focus for me. Nevertheless, at a certain point in time, I decided I needed to remove myself from the system. It was too oppressive. It was not helping me. And so with parental support, I decided to withdraw from high school. I knew that I was very intent on getting a higher education, and I was lucky to be able to arrange a term auditing classes at a university in the States. So along with that, I continued to take ballet. I went to social events where hip hop was the main genre of music, and I studied adolescent development, which helped me make sense of my situation and also those of others. I also took advantage of an offer to contribute to an autobiographical essay around ethnicity. And this was kind of like a communing opportunity and also a sense-making exercise over a few months. In the end, I returned to a different high school. I got my diploma, and I went on to university and a career in international development, health, foreign affairs, and environment. Sometimes in areas, too, where women were the minority. All the while, sports, dance, music, visual arts, writing, they've all remained central features of my life. I'm not suggesting that it's advisable or even necessary to drop out of school to get where you want to be. This just happened to be a constructive part of my own particular circumstances. My main message for you today is artistic creativity fuels patience and decisiveness around embracing the right opportunities, help, and inner wisdom to stay on your true path. That's a bit about my story. Now, what about yours? Thank you.
Wow, Portia, thank you so much for that presentation.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it a lot. So now we'd like to ask a few questions from our youth. Why do youth doubt themselves? And how can our arts relieve that social pressure?
What a good question. I think self-doubt is a natural part of adolescence because we are all coming into ourselves and becoming more comfortable with our own sense of power and our own sense of humility at the same time. I would also put forth that certain social factors ranging from some of the things that I mentioned, like class and gender and cultural background, they can have the effect of making us feel like we are less than we actually are. And in this society, it's important to stay grounded in yourself and know that you are a beautiful part of this big ocean and that you are essential to the universe as it is. So there's a reason for your being here. And I think art gives us that space and that meditative focal point to really get in touch with that feeling of, yes, I am meant to be here, and yes, what I have to say or what I have to do matters. So in essence, I would say it's about the space and the inspiration to get in touch with your self-worth at the heart of it. And I would also add that because it connects you with other people, you start to see things a little bit differently, and you start to see a bit better what you have to offer in relation to others.
Wow. Thank you for that. To the youth that are artistic and entrepreneurs at the same time, what kind of opportunities are available to them?
Well, I think we're lucky in many respects in Canada that there are still many programs available for younger people who are artistic and entrepreneurial, whether they be in the community, at the municipal level, through non-governmental organizations, or even sometimes funded by government. We have quite an extensive cultural network in Canada. It's a question of tapping into it and finding what where you can access it. So it's important to have mentors. It's important to have family members and friends who share those interests, and they can help point you in the right directions. For example, I know there's a wonderful program through the National Arts Centre that I contribute to that helps get so-called marginalized kids into the National Arts Centre and taking in art that they wouldn't otherwise see. I think it's a great example of a community-based program that makes a difference in Ottawa. But if something like this isn't available in your community, there will be other opportunities. And I'm pretty certain in even the smallest village in Canada, there's somebody who wants to share what they experienced through the arts and in their lifetime, because anybody who does any kind of artistic expression knows that it's not something you keep to yourself. And so I'm confident that by drawing on others' help, people can connect with the right opportunities.
Thank you. Another question coming from our youth: what are some of the challenges to education that face our youth today?
Well, I'd love to hear some of their perspectives about what the challenges are. Certainly when I was going to school, I had numerous challenges. As I mentioned, I felt that I wasn't stimulated enough. I wanted to learn more when you have to slow down and take things in, and other people feel like things are going too fast, and everybody is different. So I think that one of the central challenges is that it's a system that's designed in many cases to try to meet the needs of a diverse group of people, where it might need to be a bit more flexible and customized to the needs of different learners. On top of that, Canada is an exceptionally diverse country, and so we should not just accommodate diversity, we should embrace that, and we should use it as a part of our education. So to the extent that curricula and programs negate or impinge this type of embracing, I think that we as learners will continue to feel maybe constrained. However, that doesn't mean that you can't speak up. That doesn't mean that you can't supplement your own education. And in fact, every student in school today has, I think, not just an intent, but a responsibility to tell their teachers when things aren't working out for them, and to also reach out to other quasi-teachers and try to make things a little bit better.